Hey guys, how's it going? Well, in this video I'm going to talk to you about how complicated some of these older Volvos are and why you should never buy one used. This is what we're looking at. This is a 1999 Volvo V70. It's basically a 70 series station wagon. Bought this on Craigslist a few months ago. I thought I was getting a good deal. I got stuck. Tell you why in a minute. But this is a pretty car. It's a nice shade of red. It's got nice wheels on it. It's got nice tires on it. It's never been wrecked, it appears. It's got a nice interior. Leather, climate control, everything. Missing door panel, it's in the back. 117,000 miles in this car. And it don't run. And by comparison, quickly, we have a 93 Blazer with 300,000 that runs, and we have a 07 Suzuki Daewoo with 151,000 that does run. This one doesn't. So hopefully, without delving into my own opinions too much, I'm going to talk to you about these cars and why that you should avoid them. And I'm specifically talking about 99 onward, 99 and newer. To start out with, these cars in 99, even though they're basically an 850 wagon with some upgrades, Volvo elected to upgrade the, and I use that term loosely, but they elected to upgrade the vehicle electronics. They changed from a distributor ignition system and a throttle cable body. What did I just say? You ever heard of that one? A cable throttle body to a coil-on plug, I guess you'd say distributorless ignition, and an electronic throttle body. More on that later. But along with that, they upgraded the vehicle electronics, like I said, and they integrated the ECM, the engine computer, and the what you would loosely call the body control computer, and the security system, and all that kind of thing. And what they did, to put it a little bit more simply, I guess, is they just made this all, it's like a loop. It's like computerized even more than this car and even more than that Blazer by a large margin, and I'll tell you how they did it. Essentially, they did this to make it harder for it to be stolen. The key on this car has an RFID chip in it, like a lot of them these days. You know, that car there probably has one. And essentially the computer pings the key when you put the key in. It's got a little device here. This little deal here, this is the world famous antenna ring. If you Google that along with the words Volvo, you'll get page after page after page of hits on this. And I just put a new one on this one. I spent $53. Got a genuine Volvo antenna ring, because everybody claims that's what fixes these cars, but I don't believe it. I don't think it's going to fix it. What this car does is it runs for about 2 seconds when it decides to run. It runs about 2 seconds, revs up, and quits. There's no way you can make it continue to run so far. And the reason is this security system on this car, it's kind of like a handshake deal. If you're familiar with the internet, a lot of you are, you'll know what that means. But the ECM, which is up under the hood out there, kind of sends a code back through this immobilizer system, and the immobilizer system looks at the key, and then it sends another code back to the ECM, and the ECM has to read that code and decide if it's the right code, if it's the right one. If it's the right one, the engine starts and runs. Everything's fine. You go merrily on your way. If it's not the right code, for whatever reason, from anything from a bad connection to this antenna ring down here to a bad connection at the mobilizer box, or anything in between. The computer's having a bad day. The ring doesn't read the key. Any of these little problems can cause this car not to start or do that kind of problem. The start and stall thing. I mean, there's been many instances people put on the internet of they do that and they have to sit there for 20 minutes off and on try to get it to start. Flip the key, take the key out, flip the key over, put it back in. You can't have two keys on the same ring or it confuses this thing. So, you know, in other words, what it is Volvo, as far as that's concerned, on its own rights, Volvo went out of their way to put as much overcomplicated bullshit on this car as they could. Why they did it, I don't know. You tell me. This car's been sitting here in the driveway for 3 months with the doors unlocked and it's not been stolen. But Volvo evidently thought that that was not good enough, and they needed to not only make it impossible to steal, but make it mostly impossible to get it started sometimes. So that's that, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. The ECM on this car, which as I said lives out here, good Lord, I don't know what that was. It didn't sound good. You just tore your 300 up, guy. Man. The ECM lives in this box here. And I don't know if I can get this open. Probably can. It's probably been open already. Let me see here. See, it's got a vent going to it to keep it cool. Let me see if I can get it. She ran over something. There it is. There's the wonderful ECM. Looks like there's two different boxes here. There's my bastard of a neighbor dog over there. So let me tell you about this ECM in this car. That ECM is what they call, it's married to this car. You know what that means? That means that you cannot change that ECM from this car. This ECM is programmed with this car's VIN, its options, how it's calibrated, the whole 9 yards. You cannot take it out and replace it with another ECM, period. The only way you can fix it is send it in to Volvo and they fix it and get it back to you. Take the car in, or there's some people that have managed to get the codes to work on these ECMs, but it ain't cheap. So who knows if this car's had the ECM changed by somebody who didn't know that? Who knows? If it's had the ECM changed on it, it's basically junk. It's basically parts. The only other option would be to reharness it to an older 850 harness and hope for the best, or you can maybe try to mega squirt it, which is basically build an ECM to run the engine, and then who knows if you have anything else that will operate inside the car. So in other words, it's another layer of needless, useless bullshit that Volvo decided to do here to make it, you know, this car, essentially this car is, you cannot repair it at home. The only thing you can do with this car is, if it quits running, check the oil, check the water, check the gas, check the battery, check the fuses, and if they don't fix it, haul it in someplace. You gotta haul it to the dealer. Even it being a 15-year-old car, you gotta haul it to the dealer, or haul it to a reputable Volvo independent mechanic, which there ain't many of them in this country that just want to deal with these. So if that's not enough to scare you folks from buying one of these cars, let me give you the third piece of bad news. Not only do you have a Big Brother type of security system, which may or may not let you start the car if it's having a good day or not, who knows, maybe it will. Not only do you have that, but you have an ECM which cannot ever be replaced on this car. It has to be reprogrammed, software downloaded to it. That's a big thing on this car, folks. Is this car is all about having software downloaded to it, and I'll touch on that a little bit more in a minute. Here's the third piece of good news. If you're not traumatized already away from ever owning one of these cars, here's the third piece of good news. You see that jewel right there? That's a throttle body. You may notice there's no throttle cable going to that throttle body. Now that truck there has a throttle body. This car back here has a throttle body with cables on them. Alright, well let me explain to this, and I'll try to cut the nonsense details as much as possible so you can follow this, but essentially what Volvo did was they took a reliable cable operated throttle body and turned it into an electronically controlled, electrically operated piece of shit is what they did. And what happens is this throttle body has the throttle position sensor inside of it. It's internal. That means you don't have a throttle position sensor that you can take off and fix on it and replace like any other one, like that one or that one. You can't do that on this one. It's internal. So when it wears out, and they do wear out because they were under designed and under engineered, it's been proven. When they do wear out, you know what happens? That thing has to be replaced or it has to be repaired. So here you go again, guys. You got a $900 repair bill to fix that stupid electronic throttle body. And they had a little update that Volvo did when they realized at 80,000 miles that this thing wasn't going to last. They did a little patch job on it to make it last longer without actually owning up and fixing it, which they should have did. They didn't do that, so some of these cars may have an updated throttle body, which will last a couple months longer, and some of them may not. So I don't know if this car has one or not. You tell me. You have to look for some magic sticker on it somewhere. But the fix for it, the real fix, is to buy one that has, I think they convert them to digital. There's an independent company, not Volvo. Volvo washed their hands of this deal. But there's somebody up north that makes replacements for these. And here's the funniest thing about this. Looks like it's already had a mass air module put on it. Here's the funniest part about this. And I'm not making this up either, folks. This is all factual information. It's verifiable. You can check it out. When you turn the battery's disconnected, I can't show you at the moment. When you turn the key on this car to on, there's a series of warning lights here. And any of you who have a 99 and later Volvo will attest to this. But there's a light right over here that says ETM. It's a warning light. You know what ETM stands for? That's the electronic throttle management, I think is what it's called, or something similar to that. But otherwise, it means that stupid throttle body up there. So Volvo actually anticipated that people would have problems with that dumb thing, bad problems with it, enough that they put a warning light on the dashboard. And guys, I don't get it. Volvo has such a sterling reputation for good cars. I don't understand for the life of me why they thought all this crap was necessary. An electronic throttle body, really? I mean, what are you trying to prove here? Are you trying to... So, anyway, if you can get the thing to run, finally get it to run, then you may have electronic throttle problems with it, and that's, hundreds of dollars. So this car was $850, and if it's not just this antenna ring, which I 90% guarantee you it's not going to be the cause of this car not running, it has to be taken in, and you'll probably spend at least that much, if not more, to get it running again. So that's why I tell you folks, beware. Do not ever buy one of these 99 and later Volvos. Do not. do not. You're setting yourself up for an unreliable car, which may strand you somewhere, and it costs you a lot of money to fix it, and it's just not worth it. There's nothing worth it on one of these. So like I said, this car has 117,000 miles on it and some change. And I was looking up here at this sticker. The sticker, if it'll focus. Let's see, maybe back out a little bit. The sticker says the next oil change is due at 119,559, and that was 2/1 of 2011. So it was oil change. It had 116,000 miles on it at the end of 2010. So this car has not run, it's not been a usable car for 3 years. Can you believe that? 3 years this car has not run. Nobody's been able to fix it around here. And so, if you value your sanity and you don't want to be rooked, do not ever buy one of these Volvos. And now that doesn't apply to the older Volvos. My buddy Robert Spinner, who has a lot of good videos on Volvo repair, will certainly disagree with that, but on these cars. But I don't think I've ever seen him deal with one of these. These are called networked Volvos. And you ever go on the forums, they stay away from them like, you know, cross your fingers, the sign, make the sign, stay away. You tell people what you got and it won't run, they shake their heads, and there's a good reason for it. So I learned my lesson on this one, guys. I am getting, if I don't walk out here in just a few minutes and turn the key and this car start, then it's gone. No more money. I spent the money that I'm going to spend on it. It's down the road. Somebody else can have their own issues with it, not me. So I hope that kind of educates you guys and girls, gals, why you want to run away from one of these. So we'll talk to you soon. Thanks for watching.